Hello fans of the modular shed. Where is the modular shed? There's the modular shed. And guess what? Yes, it's got some roof on it and it's got a floor. I mean, it's almost a usable space. It doesn't have any walls yet though. So let's take a look at the roof, a close-up. In fact, from the side at first, I can see that there's an overhang at the back which will drip onto the hedge. There's no overhang at the front though. Why is that? That's because the overhang at the front is not going to continue upwards. It's going to turn and head back downwards so that it's got a small apex. An apex for an overhang, that sounds rather strange, but it's needed because the next modules, which are going to go to the side of this module and another one over here, they are going to be apexed. So of course this one has to be partially apexed so that it meshes in with the two modules next to it. And here's a view from directly in front, and you can see there the floor is obviously flat. Can't put that at an angle, but the roof is at an angle because the roof's going to track gradually up the slope, whereas the floor is going to be stepped up the slope. Let's have a look at some close-up detail on the roof. You can see that the roof, if we get the light level right, is sitting on battens. Now the battens are screwed to the rafter pairs, one either side of the fence post, and then the roof is screwed. They do supply nails with special waterproof covers, but it's screwed into the battens. I'm not sure if we can see screw holes. Yeah, I think that's one of the screw holes with possibly the bottom of the screw poking out, just to make sure when I walk backwards I don't trip over anything. So we can see there at the front on the right the post extension. Now on modules beyond this module, that will be the centre of a pair of modules. This module is going to be a one-off, so that's going to be the front. You can see the rafters are angled up at 15 degrees. There's an overhang at the back, and the overhang at the front is going to tip down again, and then I'll have some apex sheets. Actually, I've got the apex sheets. They are sitting here. Those are the apex sheets. I just hung them on this rail to sort of start the process of angling them to create the apex. So even without wall panels yet, this is kind of sort of usable. It has a floor and a roof, and those items in there are staying dry because the wind's not blowing the rain too far across. I think this was covered in rain earlier. Yeah, that's all dried now. So that's the first module space. So I'm looking now at trying to obtain some feather edge panels, like fence panels, and I'm going to start cladding the sides of this module. I will need to build some sort of door frame. And I guess that's going to be very similar to the end of this shed, into which there is a door. Now there's quite an overhang at the back here, and you can see the battens holding the roof up there, but there's a good 18 inches from that batten where the roof is in effect not supported at all. So I could fit another one of these angled rafters on this side coming down, put a batten on top of it to support the rear end of the roof, or I might cheap out and just simply screw a batten to the back end of this post, and the batten sits up and supports the underside of the roofing sheets. I don't know how cheap I want to be yet. Also at the front, when the roofing sheet turns through its angle and comes back down here, I think the small piece of roofing sheet. We'll probably need 2 battens to sit on, and here are my 2 offcuts of sheet, 18 inches. I measured these and I cut them just with a manual saw. The saw teeth on the saw blade get really clogged up with the bitumen, and you have to keep oiling the saw so that you can actually, it doesn't stick to the bitumen. It's a very sticky process. So that is where I don't normally do that, do I? I normally go on this side. That's where we are with the modular shed so far. Now I'm thinking about buying the what's it called, the feather edge, to start walling up the sides. That'll be the next part of the process. So, goodbye.